Good morning, sweet people. How are you this morning? I'm over here just as busy as a bee, and I just hadn't been with you in so long. I just wanted to talk to you just a minute. Just a little bitty minute, if you can stay with me. There you go. I saw a fake station the other day. Oh my gosh. It's amazing what they do. They took my voice, changed the whole thing. I thought, what in the world are y'all doing? Anyway, the reason I'm getting on here today is I want to tell you something. I just got home last night, and I have been at Miramar Beach at a conference, and I got to speak to some beautiful, beautiful women, and there were 3 men in there. I told stories. I cooked the good morning cake that y'all knows in my last book. I cooked that in front of them, and at the end, they got to eat that. It was a fairly big crowd, but I sure enjoyed those ladies. You know, they were just the sweetest things. They got good hearts and just beautiful. They are beautiful. They're just as kind and sweet to me, and I felt real special to get to be with them, that had the chance to be with them. And I just want to tell y'all where I've been, because I have not been at home in quite a while. I went to one trip, and let me say this. Did y'all see the baptism that I did? Not that I did, but that I went to. It was a beautiful sight to behold. It was in the Gulf. And so I got to go on that. And I've just been so busy lately with fun things. I was with one group of girls at one thing, and then I got to go with another group to another thing. So and the food was delicious, and we ate and had a good time together, and I met some new people. It is fun to meet new people. And they were so kind to me, and they just built me up and made me feel good. I'm making pies. Y'all know I got to do this 3 times a week. I do this. Anyway, I just wanted to be with you this morning and tell you that. I got up this morning, and I forgot that I had my pie dough in the freezer last night and forgot to get it out. So I had to make new pie dough this morning, which I don't like to have to get in here and have to do that. But I did. I had to do it. And so I did it. Took a shower last night so I wouldn't have to do it this morning. Got that out of the way. I got a hole right there. Sometimes when you get a hole in your pie when you're rolling it out, get you a little piece like this and put some water on both sides. Squeeze it real thin and patch the hole. You know, my mother was a Rosie Riveter. And during the war, she worked in Mobile with tons of other women. And of what a Rosie Riveter is, in case some of you don't know, during the war, when the men were at war and fighting for our country and fighting for our freedom and just for pure survival, the women helped. And the way they helped is down in Mobile, Alabama, when those planes would come in that had holes in the side of them where bullets had hit the side of their plane and knocked holes in it. And some of the holes would be kind of big, and some of them would be kind of little. See how I patched that one up right there just so my apple filling wouldn't get out. Let me turn you around this way. I'm waiting on my grease to get hot. It looks like it is. Anyway, so Mother was a Rosie Riveter. And what they did is when those airplanes came in and they had a hole in the side of it, they took a piece of metal and some rivets, and they patched that plane. In other words, you put the piece of metal over the hole, and then you take a riveter and rivet these rivets all the way around that patch, and that piece of metal that you were putting on there, and the plane could fly again without holes. And that's what a Rosie Riveter is. They wore rags on their heads to keep the everything off their hair. I've already made up my little topping to go on my pies. Got me a paper towel out over here. And I'm going to test this to see if it's hot enough to boil. I think what we're going to do this morning, can you see in there pretty good? Y'all are so sweet. I'm so glad you're with me this morning. I enjoy talking to you. And I hope this morning finds you well. I got some bad news this morning from a friend of mine that his mother has leukemia. And, you know, that's always bad when we get some bad news. But we still got to look up. We got to look up. All right, this looks hot. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to take a piece of dough and I'm going to kind of squish it. Yeah, is that a word? Squish it. I'm doing the squish it. And I'm going to drop it in. If it comes back up, and it did, see that? That means that's hot enough. So I'm going to put a couple in there. Let them cook. Woo, I hope I ain't got too much grease in there. Y'all got to always be careful not to come up too high on your grease. Let's cook these two. Anyway, so he was thinking about his sweet mama this morning. Yesterday during the talk that I did for Power South at this convention thing they had, it's a kind of an annual meeting thing they do. And I talked to the women that came there with their husbands, because their husbands had to go to the meeting. But some of the husbands said, I want to come to your meeting, Miss Brenda. I said, well, you can't. You got to go down there and do what you got to do. So the women came to mine, and we had a really good time together talking. And I did talk about things that we have in life that are not cooking. You know, we live, and some of the things we do doesn't have anything to do with cooking. I talked about dementia and how to deal with that. And I know a lot of you have loved ones. Let me get me a little water to go in my grits. They seem like they're a little tiny thick. Let me get a little bit. I'll be right back with you. Let me put just a little bit in there, because I hadn't even put my cheese in yet, so I want to make sure that it's thin enough to put my cheese in. I'm going to put the cream cheese in it this morning. All right, let's see how this looks. Let's check this. They're just about ready. See there? It doesn't take but a second. Don't be cooking them to death. But a lot of people are dealing with and have to deal with dementia. And what my advice to you is this. You can't really do anything much about it. You can slow it down a little bit or whatever. But the main thing is to keep yourself healthy so you can tend to that loved one that has it. And to wear a smile. You know, they want to see it. They want to see a smile. And I know that sometimes we have to cry just a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that either. I'm going to put a half of this block of this cream cheese. I cut a half a block, and I'm going to put it in here. Sometimes I use a whole block if I've got a big pot of grits. But I don't really have too big a pot this morning. All right, let's take our pie out. It is ready. Nice and brown. Take this one out. Drain it good. Put it over here on a paper towel, and let's add a couple more. I've got it on kind of medium-high heat, in case you're wondering what I've got it on. I've got it on a 7, if that means anything to you. I think I'm going to put it on a 6. That's cooking mighty fast, mighty fast. You don't want it cooked too slow because you don't want it to absorb grease. You want it like that. All right, now I'm going to put, I've got my platter heated up over here. Right there. And heated up, meaning it's sitting on the stove, it's kind of warm. And I am going to put some glaze on the top of these two. And then I'm going to sit it over there on the platter. I'm drying towels out there in my dryer, trying to get that done. All right, there we go. And what I do is I sit it up, after I glaze them, I just sit them on my platter and kind of put a little something on top of it so it won't get cold. I like mine kind of warm. I'll mix that cheese around in there. And y'all know that I've got another book out. It's called The Southern Mirror. And it is a coffee table book. And I've already written about 18 stories to go with it. It's not going to have any recipes. It's not a recipe book. It's a coffee table book. Meaning you're going to have a lot of other stuff in there. It's going to be glossy. It's going to be big. Really big. And I really want to put something in the book for everybody. Young and old, men and women. It's going to be beautiful sitting on your coffee table. And you'll be able to just sit there and just pick it up and read and look. Oh, I forgot to put it over here. Let me do this and I'll show it to you. Let me get this thing out of here. I'll put two more in. And then I'll show you. You go to BrendaGanttBook.com to pre-order. And y'all know I say pre-order because I got to know how many to print. Here it is. And y'all, some of y'all already seen it on my live, but I hadn't done a video on it. It's huge. Look at this thing. That's the paper I got in it, marked it a spot. Look at that. The Southern Mirror coffee table book. So you need to pre-order, get yours, and get your Christmas presents ready because they're going to be here in November, just in time for Christmas. So this will be a good time for you to Christmas shop. And I've been working really super hard on it. And in just a month or two, they're going to go off to be printed. And if you don't have your pre-order in, don't fuss when you don't get one. Because we're going to do how many ever we need to do to cover everybody. And so get yours. Make sure you get yours. And you're going to love it. That beautiful flower design around the edge, that Hoffman Media, they didn't do anything. They took my Big Mama's napkin and made I guess they copied it, the napkin, and that's the border around that book. This looks super good. It looks super good. I'm excited about it. I'm going to get one for all my grandchildren. Even though only 3 of them have a coffee table because the others are too young. They're still at home with their mama. Banks and William are still home with their mama. But the other girls, they have apartments, or Isabella lives in their old house. So they've all got a coffee table. And they're excited to have it on their little coffee table. Oh, and thank y'all for sending me those patches. I had 3 people to send me some beautiful patches, and thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Look at that, how good that looks, those cream cheese grits. I think to taste them here in just a minute because I want to make sure they've got enough salt on them. All right, let's see what we got here. These are ready. See, this doesn't take long to cook because that dough is so thin. I got it, when I rolled it out super thin, like I always do. All right, I got 3 more to cook, and we're going to be done with this. I think I'll put them all in at the same time. I believe I'll have room enough. I don't know. That's cooking mighty fast. Let's see. I believe I better wait, because I'm afraid my grease will go over the side. Let's put some of this on it. Good old sugar glaze, powdered sugar glaze. And I don't really turn my spoon over. I just barely turn it so that all of it doesn't come out at one time. And all the glaze is powdered sugar and water. And you don't put hardly any water, y'all. Hardly any. Because if you do, it'll be too thin. You want it about like this. See? Okay. Let's sit these two over here on our platter. Put them out. And we got these, and we'll be done. So pre-order your book. Hoff's going to be open about 8 o'clock today. And if you'd rather call, you can do that if you want to. It's 833-839-6871. And I'm going to get mine for my... And this would make a really pretty present, too, if you know somebody's fixed to get married. I mean, that always... I mean, I've got the cookbooks. When I married, somebody gave me a cookbook from a hotel. It was a hotel... what that hotel cooked. I've still got that book, and that was 57 years ago. So... You want to get your bride something that she's going to keep, something she's going to use, and something she can hand down to her children. Now, those are kind of like the 3 rules. Something she can keep, something she can use, and something she can hand down to her children. That's what you kind of want to think when you're doing for a bride. All right, so I've got something. I'm going to turn my eye off. I've got some goodie left over here. Not much. I got it pretty much. So here are our pies. And sometimes what I do is this. I take my leftover and just kind of do around a little bit. You don't want to put too much, but in case one didn't get as much as another one or something like that. Be real careful with your grease now and don't burn yourself. You can make any kind of pie you want to. Now listen to this. If your children like Hot Pockets, all you do, if you want to make a homemade Hot Pocket so you won't get all those chemicals and stuff in it, take your dough, like I've shown you how to do so many times before, roll it out real thin and don't put something sweet in it. Put a meal in it. Like if you had, for instance, you fix spaghetti the night before. If you're like me, I fix my salts separately from my spaghetti. You could put, drain your salt. Don't have it real soupy. Put that meat in there, and then put some cheese in there, and fry it. And they've got a homemade Hot Pocket, or if you had leftover roast beef and carrots and potatoes, you could kind of chop that up or squish that up or whatever you wanted to do, and then put that in there with some cheese, and you have a different kind of Hot Pocket, and you'd have a way to use your leftovers. Let me taste this and make sure that it's got enough salt in it. Let me get me a spoon. Let me cool it. Let's do some hot grits. It needs just a little bit more. Just a tad more. That's pepper. I don't need that. Where's my salt? This one is the one I put on the table over there, so it comes out slow. That other one over there, it pours out. You can't put it on the table every time I do. When the family wants a little extra salt, it just pours out too quickly. It's more of a cooking thing. All right, that ought to be good. Y'all, if you can, pre-order the book if you want it, but it's going to be really big. This way and this way. It's got over 200 pages in it. And Hoffman Media out of Birmingham is going to print it off for me. And how many are they going to print off? Whatever you tell me. That's what we're going to print off. If you write in and you start reading on, go to BrendaGanttBook.com and you want one, or call 833-839-6871. They're gonna print that many, and y'all are gonna get one in November. If you don't pre-order, I don't know what to tell you. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy your day. Get up and paint your lips. Put you on something that makes you feel happy. Thank the Lord for another day. Another day to lift somebody up. Another day to, like that person I'm telling you that found out their mama had leukemia. And I know they feel down today. Your mama's special. Your mama is special. And you can't help but be sad. But be happy that you had her and that you love her and that you could build her up and that you could support her. Those are the good things. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.